much for being here. Look, if you're watching this in recording, which you probably will do, I want to talk about 5 shifts that I made to be happier in my life. And I've got my little notes here. That's my entire script. It's basically just the 5 dot points of what I want to address and what I want to talk about. And as a matter of fact, that's how I do every Facebook Live. If I have multiple points that I want to communicate, I write them down on a post-it note or on a scrap of paper, and I just have it sitting with me, so it helps me stay on track and I don't just ramble and ramble and ramble. So here's a little side tip for you, and hopefully you find that helpful. So what are the 5 shifts that I made to be happier? Shift number 1 is actually checking in frequently. And what I mean by checking in is that if I feel resistance in any shape or form, that is usually a sign of trouble brewing. We experience resistance when we are no longer aligned with our values. And our values are actually our guidelines, the way we make decisions, and what we appreciate, what we don't appreciate. We are usually governed by our values. So if we find that we are resistant to a person or a situation or an event, anything really, the usual case is that it is out of alignment with what we value in our life, okay? So when I say checking in frequently, I normally always watch out. I keep my gut feeling tuned in with my resistance. So if I feel resistance about anything, then I check in and I try to find out why I'm resisting the situation or the person or whatever it is. And if it means that I have to evaluate the situation and choose a different route, make a different decision, then that's what I'm gonna do, because for me it's really important that I'm staying in alignment with my values, because that means I'm congruent and I'm in integrity with myself, and that's really, really important for me because integrity is one of my 5 highest values anyway. The second shift I've made to be happier is I've actually learned to say no, really, like say no more often. Whereas in the past I was a really bad pleaser. I would say yes even if I didn't want to say yes. And if you find that you are often caught out doing things for people you don't want to do, and you say yes and then you regret saying yes, then chances are that you actually say yes when you mean to say no. So saying no is something you can learn, you can teach yourself. It's not easy when you first start out, but I tell you what, it gets a lot easier. And when you learn to say no more often, you're actually in charge of your own time a lot better. You're able to manage your time and actually value your time over valuing other people's time. So for me, saying no more often has been crucial to allow me to be more happy every single day. The third shift is I actually only work with people I like. Whereas in the past, I took on every client because I wanted to pay the bills and I needed the money. And it was when I was really finding my feet in my 3 businesses, and I was starting out in each business. It wasn't so easy for me to say no to certain people because the money kept coming in and I felt pressure to actually take the client in fear of saying no and then ending up with somebody who's not happy because I'd turned them off, and then that has repercussions. Today I'm not worried about this anymore, and I've also realized that at the end of the day, if we cannot work with people that light us up and that we believe in and that we actually feel aligned with based on our values and their values, then there's no point trying to push ourselves into a relationship, a client coach relationship, client consultant relationship, or service provider if you're not happy serving their client. It's actually incongruent as well. And so these days, one of the reasons why I interview every single potential client is because I want to make sure that I like that person, and I also want to make sure that I can help that person. So if you wanted to work with me like as a one-on-one client, you can't just send me money and get started. We actually have to jump on a Zoom call and find out whether we're aligned, and I need to know whether what you want to achieve is actually something that I can help you do, and then I'm 100% convinced that I can help you do that. But even if I can, and I don't like your personality, or I don't like the way, like your attitude, or you don't like my attitude, then chances are we're not going to work together because it's pointless, right? I want to work with people I like, and most often the clients that I have become very good friends of mine. And I love that, I really do, because for me then work is fun. It's more like play rather than a hard slog having to deal with people I don't appreciate and people I don't like. Okay, so that's really important for me. The fourth shift I made was to actually reward myself often. And when I talk about rewards, it can be as little as going for a coffee date with my man, or it can be spending half an hour in the sunshine, drinking a cup of coffee or a tea and reading a book, yeah, or having some me time before I sleep, like reading a book or watching Netflix or whatever. Rewarding myself often means pretty much every day. And so in my mind, I don't deserve to be rewarded until I've done the work. So that's how I kind of trick myself into being productive and actually keeping with my to-do list, keeping with my goals, and working step by step towards my goals, because I want the rewards. But I also know that I don't deserve the rewards if I don't do the job first. So rewarding myself often has actually been really, really good for my business, because it allows me to play to my strength, but it also allows me to stay productive and at the same time get rewarded by myself for being productive, which is awesome. So look at ways you can reward yourself for having a job well done, and build in these little reward milestones every week into your business, because you deserve it. But rewards are really not deserving if you don't do something for the reward, okay? Because then it's just being lazy, and you don't deserve to be rewarded for being lazy, okay? Occasionally, of course, you can do that, but if you do it all the time, then you're just making excuses, and you don't deserve rewards for making excuses, because you're actually short-selling yourself. And the fifth shift I made to be more happy is to focus on quality, not quantity. And what I mean by that is quality of life. Yes, I'm more of a one-on-one or one to small groups of people rather than one to large groups of people. And for me, that is quality. I like the bespoke, the intimate, the relationship with people where you can have meaningful relationships and communication, and not going out there and being in front of large crowds of people or being with large crowds of people. For me, that's quantity, not quality, because I can't have a high quality relationship with someone when I'm surrounded by lots and lots of people where I have no connection with at least one person. And quality is also important with the things that I buy for myself. So my clothes, my gadgets, the few things that I buy, I much rather have quality stuff and pay a little bit more than have a lot of crap and pay less. Okay, that for me is really important. And it actually has allowed me to simplify my life, because As you may know, hubby and I have become location independent 5 years ago. So in March 2014, we've left Australia to travel the world, and we happen to be back in Australia right now because we're house sitting and we're going to build a tiny house which is going to become our base while we're in Australia. But we're still home free. We don't have a home. We don't have stuff. We live a clutter free life, and that's really all about quality. And it has allowed us to travel the world for the last 5 years and go on, I think, about 14 or 15 cruises in the last 5 years. We just happen to love cruising. And again, for us, that's part of the quality lifestyle. Like, we just love going from one place to the other with a cruise ship if we can, rather than flying. And while that's not always possible, we certainly try to go on a cruise at least a couple of times every year. So, you know, think about some of the shifts you can make if you want to be happier and you want to have more fun in your business. Like, what are the shifts you can make this week that allow you to do that? So that's it from me. I will chat with you tomorrow. I just want to say thank you for being here, for watching. I really appreciating you tuning into my lives, and even if you watch them in recording mode, I really appreciate you being here. I hope you have a fantastic day wherever you are, and I'll catch you tomorrow.